Then let's take a look. We're jumping in here. Of course, DmSn, they are good. I failed. It's been a while. Last weekend, man. It's been a while since I cast in. Let me just go ahead and take care of that real quickly.
Oh wait, what?
I left my sound on.
Oh.
You're like doing something. Weren't expecting that. Everything should be good. Okay, everything should be good now. Jump back in. Okay, so the blind band's going out right here. Look at that. We got some interesting ones to talk about. Ooh. Monkey King Pharaoh coming out from DmSn. Keeper of the Force Tempest from 007.
Well, Rookie over there in that dark green spot is actually a self-proclaimed the best Monkey King player out there.
Really?
Yes. I believe actually if you go to his stream page, I'm going to check this out really quickly while I can. It'll take just a second. I believe it's Mr. Yeah, right there it is. I believe it says on there, #1 Monkey King player somewhere. Or it used to. Anyway, they know that he's very comfortable in playing this. Or playing that hero, as is like when we saw similar to teams that play Absolute Legends, and Cookie specifically is a very strong Monkey King player. And I think overall that hero is kind of just underrated just a little bit. Like in the pub scene, yeah, people are like Monkey King, the hero's Imba. And people kind of in the competitive scene, they forget just how damn strong this hero is. And I really feel it should be picked up a lot more than it does, but so do DmSn. They agree with me as well. They blind ban it.
Yeah, he's definitely just one of those heroes. It seems like he flashes here every now and then with specific players, and he dominates. But for some reason, we don't see him a whole lot. But so we'll put it DmSn. Not going to risk it here. Does not want to go back against a Monkey King. But even on top of that, you have a Pharaoh being blind banned. That's actually another interesting blind ban there. Not a hero you would expect to be a part of the blind ban pool. But again, obviously, as we talked about, this is a rematch of the most recent Hunt Tour Gold Finals. They 007 did take out DmSn 3-0 in the end, so definitely has their number in that sense. But and I think even before that, they actually defeated them 2-1 in the winners bracket finals, if I'm not mistaken. So they've defeated them a couple of times lately in that gold match. So again, DmSn really trying to get some revenge here. And qualify for the Sound Blaster event, of course. Anyways, into the lock pool we go. Wild Soul going to be the first lock. Can't say I'm too surprised about that. Plague Rider Bubbles the follow-up, and then Kinesis Wretched Hag actually coming out. But no Wild Soul ban, sure enough. The first lock coming out here, Trough.
Yeah, I mean, that hero is just so strong. And I don't know very much about DmSn. Like, I can't be like, oh, yeah, so-and-so is going to play this very strongly. And they, I don't know much about their roster as far as who is their suicide player and who is, their carry and all that stuff. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, having that opportunity to take up Wild Soul first is pretty much universally sound in the competitive scene right now. So, yeah, nothing crazy right there. As far as the other locks are concerned, Plague Rider, that strong Bubbles, again, more suicides. Hag, same thing. Warbeast, you've seen, can be played as a suicide, but also a very strong jungler. I believe that Jakol plays their jungler. Actually, his most recent game is Warbeast. As he went 4-1-12, and he does play a very good Warbeast. So that was the final lock coming out from Dirty Mobs on We Are Spies. So expect to see that. And the Kinesis is also there as perhaps another suicide. Now, one thing I think is so funny is people always think that, oh yeah, Kinesis, he's like this new upcoming, he's pretty damn good suicide. And you think of Jepens when he used to play him, but I have yet to see a Kinesis go suicide that abuses the I throw my creeps up in the air and then let them sit there so that I have lane control. I've yet to see that happen. I would love to see it happen because if you don't do that, he's just a random ranged hero that goes in the suicide lane. So yeah.
Well, obviously, Jepens is a player name that comes to mind when you do think Kinesis. So we've seen a little bit of success, no doubt, on the competitive scene with him, but. Yeah, overall, just doesn't seem like he's really had his staples. So we'll see. In the lock pool, though, as you mentioned, amongst the other heroes. Anyways, the banning phase here. You see Silhouette, Parasite, Pebbles, Moon Queen so far. He's present 23. We have casted 007 a little bit recently, and I believe I do remember him being a Pebble-style player. And sure enough, with the Pebbles ban, I see the immediate reaction. But apparently that was meant for his own chat. Still waiting on 2 more bans to go here. And I believe, speaking of Rookie, actually, you're talking about being self-proclaimed Monkey King champion. Beef did mention that he was actually going to be at the Howie's Game Shack later tonight, I believe.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe he was one of the players that he listed off. So Rookie apparently from that area. I don't know if he's there yet by any means, but just another thing to keep in mind. Beef will be shoutcasting that event, which, again, a lot of players are apparently going to be there that you will recognize. And it's just overall going to be a fun event, I'm sure. So a little bit jealous, but we're going to be there having some fun, and Beef will be casting on the Complexity Hunt stream. So definitely check that out later tonight. Starting later tonight, Zephyr and Aluna, by the way, are the final couple of bands. You see the right click on a fade by Caspi immediately. Wonder if he's going to snap pick that.
Well, probably. He probably has it already in his mind. And he does. He does snap pick that pretty quickly. 007 already looking at that Torturer as a possible pickup for them.
Yeah.
I want to look over the bands. I was discussing some stuff with one of the admins here, but some of the bands, yeah, what do we have here? Silhouette, Parasite, Pebbles, Moon Queen. Again, yeah, Moon Queen is a hero. I don't know if you were just talking about it. I apologize, but
no.
That hero is just so damn strong in the competitive scene right now.
Yeah.
And it really does, honestly, go back to that change that happened with the Moonbeam. It sounds so silly to think of 0.4 seconds as being a deal breaker, but it makes it, every little change like that makes a huge difference, specifically in the laning phase. And because Han is so important to being able to win your lanes, and has that propels you to the rest of the game, with a hero like Moon Queen that can carry in lane in the late game, it's all about having those hard carries that can also do well in the lane.
Yeah.
So you kill two birds with one stone, basically. And Moon Queen, really, since that change, has just been very popular, and people have been slowly realizing that.
Yeah. You mentioned the Torture right click. Been doing it for a while, but not going to go it in the end. Instead, going to Engineer Hammerstorm. And that is a combination, though, you got to be pretty worried about if you're the opposition. That's definitely a powerful one. And Hammerstorm, I really have been seeing a lot of him lately. He seems this, especially in that middle lane, the 2v2 matchups, 2v1, whatever it may be. You get him with a good partner, especially one being Engineer, and they can definitely take over the early game phase. So, in Hammerstorm, kind of that, you can even call him a semi-carry, I guess, depending on how he builds and whatnot. Even a hard carry status if put in the right position, obviously, as we have seen before. Ophelia, wow, Ophelia was still on the board. Just noticing that, but Ophelia picked up by DmSn.
Glacius, probably.
Yeah.
It's surprising, these things. This is relatively going fast, and it is the weekend now. It's been a little time since we've cast. I'm thinking, wow, Ophelia and Glacius are still in that pool. If I was 007 and I saw that, I would at least snatch one of those up, or at least if you were even DmSn, perhaps thinking about banning that and picking your own support. But I could. Oh, they're not going to go with the Glacius, so. I guess they're thinking, 007 can't really go Glacius here because they already have their dual lane mid or, long lane if they want to go Enchi Hammerstorm. So that's smart in that sense. But as a support, what better could you get? Torture can be worked as a support, but with Fade, I really feel like Glacius would have been strong there. Also, if you're thinking about manning up and going Ophelia plus Fade plus, X as a support, Andromeda could have been a good decision as well. Having that swap, also someone that's in the energy field. People don't think about that, but it's a very, very strong tool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Torture as a support, he's fine, but I feel like there were better options here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you brought up the great point. 007 might not go it in the end. It's like, whoa, I did not see that one coming. Nomad is actually going to be picked up here by 007. But, yeah, why pass up on a support just for that reason? But Nomad.
Yeah, I got to interject here really quickly. Wild Soul will probably get picked here. It's really funny because as we were waiting to get in this lobby, I was spectating some of the players on 007, what they were doing. They were actually trying out the lane Nomad versus Wild Soul.
Huh.
I literally saw them trying that. I was like, interesting. So they're trying to find ways to counter that Wild Soul in the Suicide lane. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to pit Nomad up against the Wild Soul in the long lane. And they feel strongly that, maybe they were practicing it and for this exact situation, which did come up right here. So I'm very curious to see that lane and how it works out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You got to wonder. So I guess the theory is there, and the practice of it is there apparently, as you're scouting them out. But do you have any logic behind that?
Yeah, with his passive and with the Nomad, you get every CS. You get every single CS. You probably get every deny too because you're melee with the hatchet, and it's just that easy to get denies. Now, even against a hero like Wild Soul, who has potentially two different sources to do damage, it's very difficult to get creep kills, not to mention denies at all against Nomad. It's just impossible because of the extra damage that you get from the Wanderer spell, or the passive, I should say. I will say Wild Soul, once he hits level 3, though, the Entangle will do a number on Nomad. So I suggest that for We Are Spies that they pool a lot of regen up on a Nomad to just secure the lane for him. I don't know if that's what they'll do, but that's what they should do.
Yeah.
Last picks up for them. Plague Rider as their Suicide, fantastic. War Beast as their jungle, I love it as well.
Yep. And ooh, Kinesis is going to be the final pick. And interesting. Okay, it was locked up by DmSn. No, it was locked up by. Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah.
So I was about to say, well, that's really strange, but no, they do go Kinesis themselves. Locking it up, and so obviously they do have a player. It looks like Bitch Slap's going to be the one to eventually play, perhaps, but. I'm intrigued to really see this Nomad versus Wild Soul matchup, as I'm sure even 007 is, for that matter. You know, wonder if they've even used it before in an actual competitive match. Whoa, okay. Shout out to that person, apparently.
Huna.
Both teams synchronizing that to an extent. Wow, that is some teamwork amongst both teams there. Yeah, but you look at lane setup possibilities. Both sides, it seems like it should be fairly obvious. I don't know if we'll see anything too radical here by any means.
Yeah.
Kinesis short, you got Wild Soul long, you got your Tort Fade mid, Ophelia jungle. Then the Hellborn side, your Nomad short, as he is going bottom right now, but it looks like a lot of them are.
See, honestly, with this lane setup, though, I would throw... It's hard. I would throw Kinesis mid because the metagame right now, as it has been for a long time, is pick a dual lane mid that frickin' wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, this is the new Tort thing. That's pretty cool. I gotta check this
yeah,
out. Sorry.
By the way, this is Han
casting.
3.0.
Yeah.
This totally caught me off guard, I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting here thinking, all right, another game, another day, whatever. Holy crap, this is Han 3.0, by the way. And a lot of things.
Look at the Warbeast wolves.
Wow, yeah, those did get up.
And even Warbeast himself looks different. He's got like
we got a big fight perhaps brewing though. Nomad's going to run into Kinesis right here. Actually, there's the Hammer Stone. He's going to stasis match himself. He comes down to a little bit of a mini stun. Nice chain reactions. The keg will land. Plague is going to trigger a block if anything. Contagion Nuke is up, but he's not going to use it, figuring he won't get the kill right there. Ophelia falling back. And nobody will die. Wow, I'm very surprised there. It seemed like 007 had a sure kill on a couple heroes even, but they were not able to make it happen. Good support from DmSn, though.
I think they were very hesitant to use their spells, honestly. And now, Diglett really should have... Yeah. I don't know if he leveled it up at the very end there, but he needed to be faster with that. Either just... You got to be instinctive in this situation. Either you're not going to do it, you're not going to screw up your lane with not having them deny, or you go all out, level that nuke, and try for the kill right away. And he was, like, indecisive, I feel. And now as a result, is not going to have the deny to work with.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks against a solo laner that's quite strong, I might add, who also got pulled some regen. As you see, Bitch Slap down there has extra Blightstones.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as far as this dual lane mid, I really don't feel that Torture Fade is really going to be able to combat Hammerstorm Engineer. Like this Hammerstorm Engineer lane just seems so superior. And for that reason, I would not send that mid, honestly. I would abuse the fact that Plague Rider is pretty weak down here. And with the deny, you can abuse that with push, because he's obviously pushing his lane back to his tower. So, you know, press that issue just a little bit more.
Wow, Fade going really far there for a creep kill as Zergo playing this Fade. So I need to be careful, though. Again, the Hammerstorm Engineer, they set up a couple of stunts, maybe not at level 1 necessarily, but especially at that 3 mark. You can expect some kills. So we'll see if DmSn perhaps makes some adjustments, or if they do stick to it, hoping for the best. Keep an eye on that. Bitch slapped on Kinesis down here at the bottom lane, though. He is in that short lane matchup against the Plague Rider, as you put it. But Plague Rider going the Contagion level 1. That hurts. I mean, that is a big deal. That's a big reason why you pick a Plague Rider, I think it's safe to say, for that level 1 deny coming out of him. So not taking advantage of that. Now the lane is pushed up pretty hard right here by Kinesis. So now, especially with the way the start happened, do you see either side having a favorite? I mean, would it be different anyways, or what's deal with this bottom lane here?
Oh, with the bottom lane, the start, it's not the biggest deal for Diglett. But the thing is if you're going to go nuke first, I think that's okay in many situations, as long as you give yourself enough mana regen. But he has absolutely none. His mana regen is his Extinguish, which he is now getting up there. And then a Ring of the Teacher once he gets that. He's actually even nuking to get the last hits, but he's missing several more. So I'm very curious to watch, and I haven't been watching it up until just this point now for the top lane. It does look like Nomad did get pulled some regen up there.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a little bit of an easier time in that sense. Actually, Wild Soul, yeah, he has a little bit of graphical different changes as well. That's pretty cool. Did. But let's check out some CS there between Wild Soul and Nomad in particular. 6-1 for Wild Soul. Some action in mid. No, he's going to be fine. 6-1 for Wild Soul. We're actually 8-1 now. Nomad 6-3. So it's about even, but he's got this full creep wave coming up. So assuming that he gets all 6 of those creeps, that'll boost him up to 12-3.
Yeah, so this is what you expect, you know, doing the scouting out, figuring 007 and trying this Nomad versus Wild Soul lane, and sure enough, they pick it up here. So again, we're going to really keep a close eye and see how Rookie does specifically, and more so maybe how he locks down this Wild Soul, and whether or not we are going to see a very early Mocker Brilliance even on a Suicide Wild Soul, as we pretty much always see. So again, I'm still getting caught up with all these graphic changes and everything, not only on the heroes, but the towers and whatnot. It's still a little bit of a shock, not going to lie, but you know, we'll get used to it together, I'm sure. It is beautiful. There are a lot of really nice upgrades, that's for sure. Not that it's a bad thing by any means. Anyways, ooh, fake stun right there from Hammerstorm, acting like they want to maybe go in. But again, we are at this level 3 mark now. Torture and Engineer both still level 2, actually. But perhaps some possible kill opportunities going to be coming out here in the middle lane. And then the last thing to really talk about that we haven't yet is this jungling going on. Of course, the War Beast against the Ophelia. Both in their own jungles. It seems like Ophelia, 19-0, you know, she has got the decent GPM. We do have the initiation in the middle lane. Fade going with the burning shadows. Great line stuff right there, setting up for Torture perhaps. He already did use his chain reactions though. Fade gets the coal off, but gets pushed back by the keg and will fall back.
Engineer initiated right after the Hammerstorm stun with a turret. Didn't even cast the keg till that point right there. I don't know if that's exactly the way you want to do it. Like, the combo is there. You stun, he stuns, then you turret right on top of that. You pummel auto attacks while he's slowed. Makes sense, but decided to go for the turret right after the stun. I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. What Dirty Mobs, the captain, actually, give 007 here, aka We Are Spies, what he was thinking. But in the end, missing out on a kill opportunity, and now we are 4 minutes plus into the game. Invisrune is going to spawn top, by the way. And actually, Hammerstorm, sure enough, running up there with the bottle. By the way, I'm always interested, especially with Hammerstorm builds, with the role that we've been seeing him play lately, and how he decides to go. He is going to be going the 1 level at least into Mighty Swing so far, as well as the Galvanize. So no stat points just yet. We'll see though if he levels up that Mighty Swing. This is, you know, even if they get level 1, they sometimes don't level it up. Sometimes they do. So again, pretty intrigued to see where he goes here.
If my feeling is, if you're leveling up just to level 1, oh, actually the Bloodlust comes out bottom. Wow. Bitch Slap takes out Diglett 1v1. As I mentioned, Kinesis is pretty strong in straight-up 1v1 matchups. And even his CS 21-4 compared to 11-4. And now it looks like they're going to press the issue bottom by pushing it. Top lane, oh, we actually had the Invis rune that was bottled there, shared from Hammerstorm in mid. And then Hammerstorm's actually a little bit of trouble in mid lane. He might go down. The auto attacks are coming out. And Sender gets the last hit. Actually,
he didn't galvanize that whole time.
He did not galvanize. That's correct. I would cut the tail end of it, but the agonizing bonds, which is leveled up, takes him out.
Yeah, obviously action happened all over, missing the Bloodlust, but caught the other ones that happened, and no galvanize from Hammerstorm. I'm very shocked by that. He had so much time to use it, not only for the speed burst, but for the 3 armor that he would have gotten from that. Yeah. This early on, especially, it can definitely be the difference maker. So, not sure what President 23 was thinking right there, but in the end, he dies, and we are now looking at a 2-to-1 hero kill advantage. When you look at you know, how that all played out. But the top kill, Nomad did pick up the kill. Actually, well, Engineer, as you mentioned, with the Invis room, he got the kill technically, but Nomad with the assistance. And once again, harassing Wild Soul here. It seems like Wild Soul has definitely started to trail off. I mean, I remember when we said that he was 9-1, now he's 12-3. So he hasn't gotten many creep kills since then. And of course, the death on top of that. So it seems like something is working up here at the top lane so far.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. Oh, top lane is going to be spawned, and it is an illusion. Warbeast in a lot of trouble, though. The Burning Shadow Stun come out. No coal just yet. He doesn't have mana. They're trying to press the issue. He has boots, but he decides to concede that fight right now, and Warbeast will be fine. But yeah, like I said, literally right before this match, they were practicing this exact matchup of Nomad versus Wild Soul. Wild Soul has now actually resorted to pulling the creeps. He doesn't want to play, fight this straight up. And he's going to pull those creeps along around the tower, get that lane control, and just get some easy CS that way.
Yeah. Bottom lane, Kinesis and Plaguerider went at it apparently. Again, I would look down here all of a sudden. They're both very low on life. They've regenerated a little bit now. But even the mass control, the ultimate, was used by Kinesis. Back to the jungle, though. Did he purposely do that? We do see that from time to time.
I believe he might if he had very low gold.
Yeah. I think he just got his boots. I want to say he purposely did that. Again, we have seen that before. It's a case of why bother running back if you're low on gold. Might as well sacrifice yourself anyways. Not 100% sure, though. But anyways, back to the middle lane. Hammerstorm and Faye going at it. Nice kickstone right there, if not anything to save Hammerstorm. And finally going to use the Galvanize.
Top.
And yes, he will be fine. Top lane, Nomad chasing. Nomad diving a little bit too far, though. Nomad will end up falling here. The tower, too much damage. Ulti form from Wild Soul. He just went out of it there, but again, no doubt that helping. A little bit too much of a commitment from Rookie, and that's big.
Way too much of a commitment. Like, that's really, really bad. Bottom lane now, Diglett gets taken out with the roam coming out from, the actually ultimate is bouncing around, but Bitch Slap able to assist with the kill. Ophelia gets that one. But yeah, you're dominating the top lane, but with that ulti form out to Wild Soul, it was a huge risk, and he still didn't get any entangles. Had he gotten entangle, it would have been like a for sure kill onto Nomad. He tried to use the ultimate, but Nomad, it wasn't able to stick. Obviously, with the bear hit attacking you, it doesn't proc to that. So that was just a really bad decision, unfortunately, by Nomad, and that's going to make things just a little bit easier for Wild Soul. But yeah, he is quite tanky. Even if with 3 minor totems on him, he's got 1300 max HP.
Nomad continuing to box him out. Now, again, his edge counter was on cooldown. It's just coming off right here. That, of course, being his ultimate. So I kind of wonder if that was used, and that might have been the reason why he committed so much right there. But
well, he used it, but nothing came out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the bear was attacking him, but it didn't proc.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so big mistake from Rookie. You can safely say. Meanwhile, back to the middle lane of Keg. There's the Keg. The turret coming out as well. Keg not hitting anyone, though. Good sidestep right there from Fade. The Vulture Lord running in. Going to put in some auto attacks, but yes, it is going to be enough damage. That dot damage, actually, from Fade's ultimate coming out of it with the auto attack gets the kill. Meanwhile, back to the top lane. Warbeast in ulti form. They're diving once again. Wild Soul, damn tanky. Ophelia heal even coming out right here. Look at how tanky he is. They're going to the secondary tower. One more auto attack, and finally Nomad will pick up the kill. But a lot of investment used right there into taking him out, and now they're going to worry about this tower, as I guess the Hellhounds will tank it for them. But damn, another big dive. This time it does pay off, though. It
does pay off, but that was a time that could have been used farming as well for Warbeast. And like you said, it's actually kind of a huge investment to do that far away. And imagine if someone TP'd, like you could have both been killed.
That's what I was waiting for.
And Ophelia heal came out to make him just even more tanky. So, yeah, I mean, this is why Wild Soul is regarded as a god-tier hero in many top teams' eyes. Mid lane.
Yeah, Fade is going to jump Hammerstorm here. Hammerstorm actually returning the favor with the stun himself. But in the end, really not much coming out of it, of course.
Oh, you were asking about, too, leveling up his Mighty Swing, is that what it's called?
Oh, he's doing.
If you level it up once, I see absolutely no reason to not level it up. Like, you should go all the way. He actually is going to get stunned right here. It's going to connect. There's the stun from the Skeleton King, and the combination from Sender now Engineer a little bit of trouble, but that's actually a lot of damage coming out right there. Onto a Hammerstorm, mind you.
Now, Dirty Mob's plus level 6. He's out of mana for the energy field, but if he maybe valued the ultimate a little bit more than either the turret or the Kegstone right there, that could have actually been pretty good for them, honestly. So unfortunate that it just ran out of mana. And trying to say, not that it's, it's a heat of the moment decision, but I feel like the energy field might have done a lot more there for him. Even especially rather than the kick or the turret. But in the end, not used. Hammerstorm falls. He does port back, but man, we are having a pretty aggressive. And again, the bottom lane. Man, Kinesis keeps bursting down this playground, and I keep missing it. It must be happening so damn quickly, because it seems like he just drops. His mass control was used right there, that being his ultimate, and it is a lot of burst damage. So, middle lane, we do have Fade getting jumped on once again. Chain reaction is going to be used, but the Keg's missing. Good side step once again by Zergo. Look at Fade right there, trying to run away now in ulti form. The energy field coming out, they can see him, and it is going to be enough for the kill, actually. The Rev was put down by Dirty Mobs, and that guaranteed the kill. So, again, so commitment. Warby's in ulti form even assisting, but it gets the kill.
That's fine. I mean, yeah, when I mentioned that, it's like you're kind of wasting a little time from farming. If you're getting kills, it's paying off.
Yeah.
And right there, every single time your ultimate's up from Warbeast, you should be ganking, and he's doing it quite well. So big props to Cole. Don't know how you missed the stun, though, from Engineer after a big, huge point stun from Hammerstorm sets it off. So got to hit those stuns. Luckily, he did have that sentry up there, and then the ultimate to eventually purge him and get the kill. But I was going to say good kill also earlier. As you were mentioning, Play got killed by Bitch Slapped. Good support from Caspe on the creeps. He wasn't even there. His creeps just wrapped around, and he wasn't even close to him. So, able to assist with that kill before.
Yeah, again, Kinesis, by the way, Kinesis is the top farm of the game. He's actually been for pretty much this whole game, I believe. Every time I've glanced at the GPM chart, it seems like he's always been on top, 362 gold per minute right now. And then you got Nomad on the other side, who's definitely recovered quite a bit. Since that death earlier, that was really hurtful for him. But again, he now has actually Ghost Marchers and a Helm of the Black Legion here. He decides to finish first. The tower taking a lot of damage, not going to fall just yet. But we'll see if this top tower perhaps falls here in the near future now, as a result of all the damage that has gone on. But again, this has been a pretty action game as well. We're 7-3 hero kills in favor of DmSn right now. But you do have a farming Nomad. He's looking pretty good. And Warbeast is starting to get up there himself, 260 gold per minute here and counting. You got to think that Abyssal Skull is coming up here shortly. A big bottom push, though, coming up from our Legion team.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's actually coming out this late. Ophelia has kind of slacked as far as the levels are concerned. Still roaming around quite nicely, but I figured you could have pushed this tower much earlier. Especially against the Plague, like I mentioned, who was already denying the creeps and pushing it back himself. The counter push is there. Can they deny it? No, they cannot. Bitch Slap gets credit for the tower kill.
Yeah, very, very close right there. Good attempt, but in the end, ain't going to happen. Meanwhile, in the middle lane and the top lane, some counter pushing going on. Again, this tower very, very low. See the fire coming out as a result of that. It's one of the new graphical upgrades. But The top lane not going to be heavily pushed, though, actually. And it is just out of deny range still. So middle push, though, especially with Warbeast here and Hammerstorm. Will he even brute strength? Hammerstorm, that is. Doesn't look like he's going to, at least just yet. The Legion team is falling back. They may port in here if they find it necessary. In fact, there we go. There's the vulnerability that ports. Warbeast does have ulti form. He should be fine. Fade chasing Kinesis. Nope, not going to be enough, though. And actually, Warbeast does go in ulti form just to be safe. He will be fine. The tower gets low enough. The Hellhound's trying to finish it off, but no, it's going to be denied. Good deny by DmSn. Top lane again. Tower is still very low, but just at a deny range. But we are going to start seeing some pushing going on now from either side, it looks like.
Yeah, and actually with all those mass ports in mid, if I was We Are Spies, I would have ported top right away. Because the best time to get a kill is when someone's desperately trying to deny the tower.
Yeah.
And that's what this Wild Soul's going to be doing here shortly if Nomad keeps pushing this up. So I would have TP'd up top. Even though he's very tanky, he doesn't have boots. And I believe you actually do lose out on quite a bit of movement speed when you're in that ultimate. So yeah, I think he has 315 base in his regular form, and now it's down to 285 when he doesn't have the wild up. So.
Ooh, Fade running in trouble. Went for the invis room. Proved to be the wrong decision. Kexon's going to connect as well. Hammerstorm doesn't have a stun for 8 seconds. Heal from Ophelia coming out. And actually, Fade does go invis as well. So, going to survive. Top tower. It's going so close. The Bear, no, not going to be able to deny. Nomad will get credit for it. He actually dodges the chain reactions, too. And Rookie skirts on out of there. So, a very questionable decision early on from Rookie, diving as much as he did onto that Wild Soul, which got him killed. He has been having a great game since. I mean, he's now up to 380 gold per minute. He's level 11 as well, the top level in the game. And now Wild Soul actually might be in trouble. Hammerstorm, Bruce Drake jumping out of it again. Pretty damn tanky. Will it be tanky enough, though? It doesn't look like it. The damage just too intense now. Yeah. And down he falls. So good assistance. And again, Nomad getting some pretty good farm here now.
Yeah, and good utilization of the invis rune that Hammerstorm just picked up. They don't have any wards spotting around it. They could see that it was picked up by Hammerstorm. Actually, no, Center just placed that ward, so they couldn't. In the meantime, in the jungle, we have Warbeast who's ulting, but the Skeleton King keeps him in place for now. Uh-oh, here comes the response from Kinesis that Warbeast ultimate is going to be out soon. It's not doing too much damage. Oh, now it is, as he's now actually on the ground. Warbeast trying to run away, Ulti form is still up. It does go away, and he will be fine. So a lot of damage output from Kinesis, but was not able to capitalize with that ultimate up on the Warbeast.
Yeah, now that was a little bit silly by Chakol right there playing that Warbeast. He actually ultied to take out the Ophelia minions. He killed the Vulture Lord, then he went for the Skeleton King. But you saw right there, he thought it might have been, immune in the sense that I could just run away if I get in trouble. It was close. The mass control and everything from Kinesis, he showed off right there. The amount of burst damage that hero can do, it is intense, especially since the mass control was level 2 at that point, I believe, too. So yeah. It was close, but Warbeast does skirt away, but definitely a big risk right there. Really not much of a reward coming out for Warbeast. So I keep looking back at the Snowman. So, okay, again, a lot of action in this game so far, but here we are coming up to 16 minutes. Let's break it down a little bit. What are the items we're looking at? Kinesis does have a tablet here, as well as a Steam Boots and his build-up item. So, again, he's had a great start. Wild Soul, 1,800 gold saved up right now. So, again, he is working towards now that sort of the high. But a little bit slower than usual, not going to lie. And then you have Fade having, his build-up items. Nothing too significant on him just yet. And about 800 gold saved up. But then there's the Hellborn team and actually triple stack Ancients being done here with the Hammerstorm and Wild Soul. But Nomad especially, again, the big one. He has those Ghost Marchers, has a Helm of the Black Legion, Mystic Vestments. Is this what you expected from Nomad to build kind of tanky here early on?
I like it. A lot of players in the pub scene will just go straight for that Shroud, but honestly, you're not tanky enough. You die too quickly. Mm-hmm. And with the change also of adding lots of slow from that Sandstorm ability, I think it's just good to be tanky, just to be right there in the middle of fights and just be a nuisance, slow people, do lots of damage. You will do lots of damage later on with full items, but for right now, I think this is the best build. I like it. And, even though he died at a very bad time when he was up there against Wild Soul, he has just destroyed his CS. 17 minutes in, Wild Soul only 40 CS just ticked right now. Yeah. That is very, very low. He does have 2,200 under his belt, but needs another 1,200 for that sort of the high, and then another 1,300 after that for the mock. He's going to have it around 24 minutes if things keep going well for him. But if he gets ganked, it's going to set it back even further.
Yeah.
And look at the golden experience lead. It's actually heavily in favor of We Are Spies, despite them being down 3 hero kills.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Yeah, 4,600, 5,500 experience lead, 4,600 gold lead. So, yeah, overall, it's safe to say 007 here on the Hellborn side in the better spot right now. Again, you see, you look back at Nomad here, and his build hasn't, I guess, no new items have come of that, but how's Hammerstorm doing, by the way? Okay, so we did max out the Mighty Swing, as you were talking about. It just makes sense. He has 2,500 gold saved up, by the way, so he's got a Steam Boots power supply, a bottle, 2,600 gold now. Ooh, Sandstorm being used, trying to chase down Boo Boo here, committing big time again just to kill Boo Boo. I don't know if that's worth it. Porta's coming in. We're going to see chain reactions. It's probably just out of range, so again, he will be fine. But Nomad, a big risk right there just to try to kill Boo Boo.
Well, honestly, to waste a port from a support torch like that is so worth it.
Yeah.
Like every little bit of movement like that from especially a support player, when you go out of your way, not just to move there, but to TP there, that's a huge investment. Unless he dies right here. Now he is very tanky. And he has lots of mobility and high movement speed with the Ghost Marchers and his Q spell and the edge counter to dodge the stun from the team. But here's Fade ulted for another 8 seconds. We'll see. I think he knows something's up, though.
Yep, he does. Again, you put it, the edge counter is the biggest deal here, though. Even if they get the jump, because of how tanky he is, if he presses that R and all of a sudden being used, meanwhile back at the bottom lane, can you see the launch up there? Plague who's bouncing around. It will be enough for the kill. Stasis Smash not going to be enough for the kill on a Plague Rider, and he will actually survive as well. So now back to the top lane. Obviously, they are down one player in Kinesis. There's a lot of damage for them. Got to keep that in mind here. We'll see if not 007 looks to respond. In fact, Nomad jumping on a Fade Rider. Fade dropping quickly. Ophelia Heal is going to be used. No edge counter used just yet. I believe he's out of mana, actually, but Nomad is chasing. The team comes in. Hammerstorm with the new portal key he just purchased. Brute Strike, double damage rate, and he just tears up Torch right there with Nomad. Wild Soul, damn tanky. Kexstun is going to connect. And now Mirage Hunter here playing this Wild Soul. He will two-fall. Double tap coming out for President 23. Hammerstorm, Portal Key, DD. That is deadly.
I just look at the numbers, and I did not expect them to be so heavily in favor. But after that exchange, 10,000 in experience for 007, 7,500 for gold. So they're clearly doing something right. A lot of gold is into the Warbeast, too, who's farmed a lot more than an aggressive jungler like Ophelia. And I say this every single time I see Ophelia. If you're not being aggressive early on with either hero, it doesn't have to be hero kills. It can be tower pushes. It took them 12 minutes to push that tower against the Plague, who's already denying, who already died twice to both the Ophelia and the Kinesis. And then it took you 12 minutes to push that tower. Way too long. So that's basically a passive jungler against a passive jungler. And Ophelia versus Warbeast, not the greatest decision.
Yeah, we do see Plague Rider barely getting away from Kinesis. Not really barely, but he gets away from Kinesis. He picks up a haste and dodging the chain reactions. Does get hit by the burning shadows. Fade going to invis though, as Hammerstorm was in mid cast right there. Meanwhile, the cutoff from Nomad coming out. Ophelia's in trouble. You see the crit damage from Nomad right there. Nice Minotaur stun though, going to be used and actually will keep him off in the end. So Ophelia will survive, but no doubt the pressure just really being pushed on here by We Are Spies, of course, and the Hellborn team. In the meantime, we'll actually more initiation. The Invis, Nomad coming out with that assassin shot, jumping on Kinesis. He can put out damage, but he ain't going to tank too much, unfortunately, as we saw right there. He just drops, and Nomad Hammerstorm assists for the kill. Yeah, this is where the momentum and everything starts coming together for 007, it looks like. It's going to be tough to stop if you're from another dimension here. As even Wild Soul, again, looking back at him, he's level 11, that's nice, but he's still without that sort of the high, and still even a little bit off of it, honestly. He's not going to be getting a mock at this rate till 25-plus minutes, and that's bad.
Well, when I mentioned he had 40 CS, that was at, like, I think the 17-minute mark. So he's gotten 14 CS from 17 minutes to 21.
Yeah.
And this is a hero that can also utilize the jungle to farm. So, yeah, his farm is not at all where it needs to be. And I just, in general, love the Nomad pick. Like, I think since the changes, not too long ago for Nomad, I think it's made him not only a more fun hero, but a more viable hero. And we see more and more teams starting to try him out. TDM was a team that used to try him out right after the changes, and with good success, too.
Yeah.
And I just think this hero is working well in this lineup. It does a lot of damage. Not to mention just their whole team composition, specifically Hammerstorm Engineer. Even though they didn't do exactly that well mid, in general, in team fights plus the Plague Rider, it does a lot of damage. And I just think all these heroes synergize quite well together.
Well, it's great to see new hero pickups like this. You know, it's fun to see them, obviously, just in general, because we don't get to see them a whole lot. But a lot of the time, it seems like it just happens randomly. You know, you'll see a pickup from a random hero such as Nomad or you know, Rampage or whatever will just come up with like, oh, cool, we get to see this hero. But there's never really a true reason behind it. It's more so, you know, we want to have fun, maybe try something different.
Yeah.
Going into this, I mean, you said as soon as they picked it up, they've been practicing this. As you were just mentioning him right before this match, apparently they've even been trying out this strategy of the fact of a Nomad versus a Wild Soul in that matchup. And so it's safe to say, you know, 007 did some preparation. It's a lot better, I think, to see it this way played out, where not only did they go for a pick we don't really see, but actually had some good logic and some great reasoning behind it and some prep that they put into it. So And clearly it is paying off. I think it's safe to say Nomad has been a good, big reason for their success so far in this game. Again, it's still game left, but seems like 007 is in the better spot now.
Well, you go back to the laning phase and think about how is Nomad effective against Wild Soul. And you can use that E, I forget what the second little spell is called. It's actually the Mirage Strike to do extra damage, but not have to worry about getting entangled, at least initially. Because if it entangles you, it's going to be your image, and who cares?
Yeah.
And you can do a lot of damage that way, but do it safely. Until he hits level 6, and then it's just almost impossible, even when you saw how much of a lead Nomad has. But until that point, he's very effective. Not to mention, of course, with the change to Wanderer, you get every single CS as a melee with the Hatchet.
Ooh, I thought Warby's was thinking about ulting. In fact, yeah, here we go. He's going to ult in right here. Ports are coming in. British Shadows will connect with Engineer, but Warby's is still chasing. There's that Porter hitting 3 heroes, actually, including Boo Boo. Being one of them. Kinesis will get caught out. The Plague is going to bounce around in the background, but there's just so much here, it's not going to really matter too much. Look at the speed on Nomad, especially with that combination. Oh, the Edge Cutter comes out, but it doesn't proc right there. Now Nomad's in some trouble. However, no, the support is just too strong. Hammerstorm porting in again. Plague Hunter's there. Down goes Ophelia, and DmSn is just falling apart at the schemes right here. I think it's safe to say, yeah, they are going to vote to concede. Hatcher coming out for rookie there at the end. GG's being called, and it looks like it's official. Game number 1 going to We Are Spies here, aka 007. That was fun to watch, and again, it was a rare case, honestly, of seeing a hero we don't see often. Not only picked up, but done very well and had some great reasoning behind it. So
yeah, and also when, you know, not even just in the laning phase, but also out of that, they had good team fight. And actually, if you get get the jump, so to speak, or have a good team fight starting out in your favor for Nomad, or just the team in general, it starts to snowball like crazy. As you saw there in the end, all of your spells, or not all of your spells, but your Wanderer Strike and then the Mirage Strike, I believe is what it's called, get refreshed whenever someone dies within like 700 AoE.
Yeah.
So you can see him constantly. Oh, someone dies, he uses it again, he uses it again, he uses it again, and you just once it starts to go well for you, it becomes very, very scary and very, very deadly for the other team. And it was a lot of fun to watch.
I always forget that. You know, again, we have seen him a little bit, but it's not something that sticks with me for some reason. But you're right. I mean, the fact that refreshes is pretty crazy, too. So, anyways, that's it for game number 1. Again, going in favor of 007 here, aka We Are Spies. Congratulations to them, but it is a best out of 3. So sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. We will have game number 2 from another dimension, taking on We Are Spies. Game 2 coming up next.